It's possible that the solution to your conflict resolution struggles might be right in front of you, or below you, or to the side of you. Kind of depends if you're standing, sitting, or laying down. Would you believe me if I told you that your mouth and your mind may not be as important to your conflict resolution struggles as your feet actually are? In this video, I want to propose the possibility that the game changer that you are looking for when it comes to having a better chance, more success at resolving conflict in your relationship is taking walks with your partner. Before we jump in, if you've not already downloaded the free guide to intimacy, you'll see a link in the description area below. If you continue to struggle with communication in your relationship, I have the answer for you. Our Closing the Communication Gap video course is everything you will ever need to have better communication. Understand why your partner talks the way they do, why you struggle to connect, why you stop sharing with each other. And if you use the code RelationShots at checkout, you'll get $100 off that course. You'll see a link in the description area below as well. Listen, research has been done forever on the benefits of walking individually, right? It improves mood, it decreases stress, it increases creativity, it increases cognitive control. In fact, many of the great thinkers in the world have noticed the importance of walking. Look at some of these quotes. Kierkegaard says, "I have walked myself into my best thoughts, and I know of no thought so burdensome that no one can walk away from it." Jean-Jacques Rousseau says, "When I stop, I cease to think. My mind only works with my legs." Friedrich Nietzsche says, "All truly great thoughts are conceived by walking." Walking individually can have tons of benefits for your life, but walking with your partner is an entirely different game altogether. If you're a Christian, there's even a Bible verse, Amos 3:3, that says, "Can two walk together unless they agree to do so?" Right? Listen, for all the disagreements you may be having in your relationship, the moment you decide to take a walk with your partner, you are both in agreement in at least one thing, the direction that you're walking in together. And that may sound trivial, but it actually starts something physically and physiologically that changes everything for your relationship. There's been a ton of research done, and I don't want to bore you with the research over concepts and theories and ideas like self-other overlap, behavioral synchrony, locomotion motivation. There's all these terms that if you really want to read, I'll drop an article link below if you're a nerd like me and you want to research it. But otherwise, let me just give you some practical things that are actually occurring when you decide to take a walk with your partner. Number one, you are now side by side. And there is something different that happens when you are side by side than when you are face to face. When you're face to face with somebody, that posture is combative or competitive. When you're side by side with somebody, that is a cooperative stance. You are already in cooperation because you are side to side. And what you are doing is you are side to side, both facing the same environment in front of you, both seeing the same thing in front of you, both navigating the challenges of walking together in that environment. I say challenges not like it's probably hard if you're walking on pavement, but you still have to be thinking about where I'm putting my feet and what's in front of me and what's coming up, and might there be cars coming, might an animal come out of the woods. There's all kinds of things that your brain is monitoring, and guess what? You are both doing it together. You're facing the same environment. So for all the disagreements that may be happening between the two of you here, when it pushes out in front of you, you are in agreement, you are seeing the same thing, and guess what? That does something psychologically to us that causes us, because we are seeing the same things and having the same perspective looking at the environment in front of us, it makes it more open for us of our partner's perspective on whatever we might be talking about. Now that may sound like some hocus pocus magic, but there's been plenty of research that has shown when we're in agreement on something out here, it opens us up to be more open to their perspective on something here. Whereas if we're sitting at home face to face, we're in that competitive or combative stance, and we're not as open to the other person's perspective on something. A second thought is that our steps are syncing. So in order for two people to walk together, we have to sync up our steps. One can't be walking way faster than the other. We're not walking together. So whether you are consciously or unconsciously doing it, you are syncing your gaits, your walks, your steps together, and things are being synced up physically, which, watch this. Now, psychologically, it also causes us to sync up things in our heads. There's something that researchers call reciprocal entrainment, which basically means that we are both accommodating the other person in syncing together. So as you're walking, each one of you is making slight adjustments to accommodate the other person in order to walk in sync. And this also does some entrainment psychologically, where we now are willing to accommodate one another in our perspectives and our thoughts on things in order to become in sync on those thoughts. Now, again, I don't want to bore you with all the scientific words, but you just need to know that when you are physically syncing up by walking together, it is also opening your minds to sync up psychologically on stuff you may be in disagreements about. So when you are in disagreement, but you are walking together, you are much more open to the other person's perspective because you are accommodating one another in order to sync the speed at which you are walking. Now, we could go on and on and on and on and on about the research, but I think you got it already. Here's the reality. Here's the close. If you are having a conversation, sitting at home, at the dinner table, on the couch, laying in bed, that you are having while walking, that conversation has a way greater likelihood of going well when you're walking than it does in any other position. So if you've been struggling to talk about some issues in your relationship, I would highly encourage you to try walking together and having those discussions while walking and seeing if that doesn't help a little. In fact, my challenge to you is this. I would say every day if you can. If not, maybe a few times a week. Just start the habit of walking together with your partner. Now, I'm not saying every time you walk has got to be we're trying to resolve the biggest conflict in our relationship or solve world hunger. You may just be walking and enjoying conversation and hanging out for the exercise and to get out of the house without resolving a conflict. But I want to challenge you that if you start doing that, see if it doesn't improve connection, deepen conversation, and increase the likelihood that you can resolve some of the conflicts you've been struggling to resolve. And I want you to come back here and leave me a comment and let me know how it goes. Again, if you need help in communication, check out our Closing the Communication Gap course. $100 off that course if you use the code RelationShots at checkout. There's a description below. If you want some more videos on communication, I'll tag those right at the end of this video. And I'll see you right back here next time on RelationShots.